There, this is Miss Kaitlin, and today I am going to teach you how to draw a bird. So let's go ahead and get started. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch to my desk. So here is my desk. I have a paper out in front of me. I want you to go ahead and grab a piece of paper that you want to draw and practice drawing this bird on today. Now what you're also going to need is a pencil. To make matters easy for us today, I'm going to be using a couple of different colors to help you sort of figure out how we start from the beginning to end for drawing a bird. Now the bird that we're going to be drawing today is a little bit realistic. Now when we're drawing something realistic, we do want to try and have a couple of reference photos next to us. So I would recommend maybe pause the video, go find maybe a couple of photos of birds that you really enjoy and kind of maybe have them next to you or just have them up on a different tab on your computer. What I'm going to do is actually show you the reference image that I am using today. So this is, there we go. This is the image that I'm using. It's a pigeon, of course. I find that if we are going to use any bird for reference, it should be one that we see probably every day. So this is my reference photo. Now I'm not going to copy this bird exactly, but it is going to give me a good idea of kind of how I'm going to place things to get the proportions right for a bird. Now let me go ahead and switch back to my desk so that you can see. All right. So I'm going to be using a couple of different colors to just sort of help you digest what it is that we're drawing. When we are drawing something a little bit more realistically and we're looking and drawing from observation as well, we want to start with basic shapes. They're going to help us place everything exactly where we need to be. Now the basic shapes, they don't have to be perfect, but do try and put them in sort of a similar space to what I'm doing. Now for a pigeon, or for a bird really of this sort of similar size, we need to start with the head and the body. We want to place those first. So I'm going to go ahead and use my orange marker here to show you. I'm going to draw a circle for the head. Then I'm going to draw a pretty big sort of slanted oval for the body. So go ahead and draw these two things. All right, so those are the basic shapes for the head and the body. Now I'm going to sketch in a couple of other things that are going to help me place everything else. Now for this, I'm probably going to put two lines here to sort of connect the body and the head with the neck. And then I'm also going to plan out how far out I want the tail feathers to go. Now for these tail feathers, again, no details here. We're just being very basic with what we're planning out. I'm going to go here and I'm going to draw a diagonal line out, go underneath, draw a diagonal line out. And then as for the legs, bird legs are very skinny and small. I'm probably just going to do like a little triangle here and maybe two lines out. Maybe do another one at the back. And I can sort of block in the feet later because they're very, very small and detailed. We don't have to do those just yet. So once you have this, we're going to go ahead and do something called contour lines. Now the contour lines are sort of the outline of the thing that we're drawing. The contour lines include all the like sort of, details for a beak, sort of blocking in, where a wing would go and kind of just really observing what the actual shape of our object is going to look like. Now this is good practice even if you're not looking at a reference photo, always doing the basic shapes and then applying your actual lines on top. So now I was originally going to go in with this blue marker, but you know what? I think to make it a little bit easier for you to see, I am going to switch to a Sharpie. It's still going to be dark enough. So what I'm doing here, I'm looking at my reference photo and I am looking and I'm seeing, okay, I need sort of a shape here for the head. I'm going to use my basic shape. I'm going to follow along the edge here. I noticed on my own picture for my pigeon, its forehead comes out a little bit. And then I'm going to draw a curved line for the beak and back in. I also noticed on my pigeon that they have this sort of cute little round cheek. So I'm going to add that into my contour lines. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw the neck down to where the body is. And then I'll draw in the body, at least this part here, because I know I want it there. I'll probably hop over here just because I want to put a little bit more of that leg into there. At this point, I do have some space that I am going to draw the wing. So for the wing, I noticed that it's going to be sort of like this very rounded shape. In fact, it's going to also follow along these lines here. So watch how I do this. I am going to continue this outline just to about here, I think. And then I'm going to curve around and back in to sort of create that shape for the wing. And then I can close off that shape by doing a couple of curved lines for the feathers. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw some tail feathers over here. So again, those are just very long sort of curved lines that I'm doing. At this point, we need to do the feet. So let's go ahead and add them in. So for me, I noticed on my picture at least that I was using, and you can just do this if you wanted to draw a bird. I saw sort of a triangular shape here coming up and down. And then its feathers sort of end there, and I can start on the legs. So that's 2 diagonal lines down. And then for the toes, they kind of have these 4 toes that come out at these curved lines like this. Kind of like you're making 2 rainbows next to each other, and then you're connecting. You want 4 in total. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing back here for my other leg. Sort of make that triangular shape, 2 straight lines, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make the toes using those curved lines. All right, now that we have these basic shapes, we have the contour lines, and maybe even a little bit of detail, arguably, let's go ahead and add in more details for our bird. So for that, you might need to do the eye, the circle. You can add any other little designs that you want onto it. I'm gonna add some details I saw in my photo. If you want to turn this bird into something completely different, like maybe you were following along with me at one point, but you decided, hey, you know what? I think I want to add a bunch of feathers and stuff at the top. I want to make my bird a little more abstract or maybe more imaginary. Go for it. I'm going to go down here and I'm probably going to add a couple of curved lines here just to sort of make that first layer of the feathers. And I'll do the same thing again to make another layer of feathers. Just doing lots of curved lines in. Now that is just about it. You can add any other detail, like maybe the claws of the birds. You could add even like the little parts here of the texture of the legs. But what you should be sure to do is erase any remainder of the basic shapes that you no longer need. Now I did mine in orange so that you could see a little bit better where I'm putting the contour lines and the details, but let me show you what this drawing looks like now without all of that extra stuff that you can feel free to erase. So this is what it looked like when I was done doing all of my contour lines. And then I added those extra details. You can see here that I still need those lines for the legs. So at this point, once you have your drawing, you've erased your basic shapes, you have your contour and your details, you can add in anything else. Like maybe you add in the texture of the feathers along the neck. Especially for a pigeon, I know they have like that shine there. Or you could add in sort of spots onto the feathers along here. You could even feel free to just color it in as is and kind of decide where is the pigeon or where is your bird? Is it walking in a park somewhere? Is it stealing somebody's French fries? Who knows? But that's how you draw a bird from start to finish, from a reference photo. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun for me. If you do create a bird from observation, I would love to see it. And you can even share your reference photo that you did. And I will see you next time. Bye.